All right, we are live. Today,
Yes.
I love our topic. I love the topic for today because I feel it's a topic everyone needs.
Mhm.
Because what is life without knowing whether you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? So
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this topic, and I'll briefly introduce myself. My name is Joyce Loichompere. A lot of people know me as the Dare to Glow coach because everything about life is daring. You have to dare so that you can glow from within and outside. I'm confidence coach, empowerment coach, mindset coach, mentor, trainer, teacher. The list is endless. But today we are going to be talking about mindset. And
Mm.
I'll give the audience to Coach J so that she can introduce herself and open up the topic for today.
You've done it again. You've given a list of things. All right. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody from wherever they are watching us, they're doing well. They're good. My name is Jane, Coach Jane. I am a growth and mindset coach. Um, what else can I say? I am also a trainer. I am a mentor. I am also a student. I'm a student of life because I like learning every day. Every day I take it as a learning opportunity. And that leads me to the topic of today. What are the effects of fixed mindset versus growth mindset? And I'll start by saying that just to describe a fixed mindset, it's a mindset that doesn't want change. It's a mindset that is stuck, a mindset that doesn't want to move from where they are. And a growth mindset is the opposite of that. It's a mindset that is ready to grow and germinate. And when I first introduced myself, I said I am a student of life every day. That's a growth mindset by itself because you are ready to learn, you are ready to change what you've programmed your mind in. Because sometimes we have the programs that we've set our mind on. So I know this is the route to go to wherever I'm going. I don't want to change that. If there's a block there, I will not go to my destination. I will not look for another route. I will not do anything of the sort. But when you have a growth mindset, you find alternative ways for you to get to your destination. So, Coach Joy, you'll give us the first point as you give your opening keynotes.
All right, so my opening keynote of what are the effects of fixed mindset versus growth mindset is, first of all, fixed mindset people are always focusing on the material part. What am I getting out of this? So they
Mm-hmm.
normally limit themselves. But when you have a growth mindset, you have a mindset of freedom, you know? You have value over, for example, you value the time, you value people's time. That is
Mm-hmm.
basically having a growth mindset and also the opportunity to learn. So my first point is going to be fixed mindset believes failure is the limit of ability. Like
Mm-hmm.
for them, they believe when I fail, there is nothing else. And
Uh-huh.
it was one of your opening, Coach Jay, when you
Mm-hmm.
said fixed mindset people always don't believe in having other options. The
Mm-hmm.
moment it fails, have the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to try something else. You don't have to name it B or C. You can just tell yourself, I'll try something else. I'll keep trying, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
every time I'm around people, I always tell them we just have to try our best. Sometimes things can't work out the way we want, but we just have to give in our best and the rest will come out. And then growth mindset is a mindset where failure is an opportunity to grow. So the moment you fail, you look at that opportunity to grow at it. You're like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, I failed at this, but I can do better. So you
Mm-hmm.
either broaden yourself into learning that you failed at and become better at it, or you look at option B. You tell yourself, you know what, failure shouldn't be my limit. I can do more. I can
Mm-hmm.
be better. That is a growth mindset. So it depends on you. What do you choose? Definitely, I would choose growth mindset any day. So fixed mindset, limiting beliefs. Failure is the ability to not move forward, while the growth mindset is opportunity to grow. Back to you, Coach Jay.
That's a beautiful point. You've actually expounded one of my points. I'll not touch on that. So, my first point is going to be on self esteem. What is self esteem? Self esteem are the beliefs and opinions we hold about ourselves. Self esteem is not what about what Jay says about me, it's what I say to myself. When I stand in front of the mirror and then I look at myself in the mirror, what words am I using? How do I describe myself at that time? And what words are you like? What words are you saying, the positive or the negative words? How do you describe yourself? Because I know there are two types of people. There is the person who in public everybody knows they're all head up, they're all good. But then this person when they're in a closed room, they're using all these negative words. And then you hear people asking, this person has so much potential, why isn't this person accomplishing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H? But if you do a lot of investigation, you come to realize that this person has been having a lot of negative self-talk. So the self-esteem has gone down. The things where they have the potential to do, they don't end up doing them because of what? The words they're speaking to themselves. So a person with a fixed mindset is resistant to change, as Coach J has said, as we have mentioned, as Coach J has said. And that said, that person is prone to giving up on their goals. Again, that is what Coach J said in her opening. And whenever they meet a block, they just stop. So I go out there, people applaud for me. They tell me, Jenny, that was a good job. You can do this. You can become this. You can become this. But when I come home, I'm like, no, that's not for me. No, I cannot do that. So I am the limiting. I'm the person who is limiting my own self-esteem. But the moment I open up my mind and I'm able to talk positive words to myself, I'm able to describe myself in positive words, I start changing and my esteem starts coming up and making me a better person every day. Back to you.
I'll add something small to what you've said. Remember, I introduced myself as a confidence coach. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing is when someone comes to me and tells me, hey, Coach Joy, I want to become confident about myself, it's normally self awareness. The
Mm-hmm.
moment we don't have self awareness, we allow people to sabotage our opinion, we allow people to their opinions to take over our own opinions. We allow to live over other people's words or to live through other people. So I can't explain too much about self-awareness and being confident, but we have a seminar coming soon on the 5th of November. So there will be a
Yes.
lot to be talked about that time. But back to the to my point today, fixed mindset is threatened by other people's success. While when you have a growth mindset, you're always inspired by other people's success. You
Mm-hmm.
always meet people who get threatened. Someone tells them, you know what, this is what I've achieved. This is the effort I've put in. Remember, they put in effort. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
uploading for them, you just put your mouth in your nose. Who does she? Who does she think she is? She won't even succeed. But she has succeeded. She has reached where she is. So the only thing you have to do, if you have a growth mindset, or at least if you're building on having a growth mindset, is clap for yourselves. Everyone has their own turn. I'm a strong believer for that. Everyone has their turn. That is her time or his time. Your time will come. So, fixed mindset people, if you have that kind of behavior where you're threatened, you're jealous, you feel envy when someone has a small success or a small stepping stone to their future, just know you have a fixed mindset and you need help. And Coach J is a growth mindset coach. So she can help you. She can help you grow out of that fixed mindset and get to a growth mindset where you can appreciate other people's progress, appreciate other people's success. And trust me, the sky is not the limit for you. So that was my point. Back to you, Coach J.
That's a beautiful point that you've said. And I would like to add a very common word that is not competition. A person with a fixed mindset, they always see other people's success as if they're competing. If I see Coach J has done this, I feel like I deserve that more than she does. So there's that element of competition, a non-healthy competition in their head that is going on. But a person with a growth mindset, what happens? You become inspired by what she has done. Instead of feeling jealous, feeling envy, you start asking Coach J, what did you do to achieve that? I really like what you've done and I want to achieve that or even more. So you don't
Mm,
go in a competitive way. You go in a learning mode, and that way you're able to develop your growth mindset. But if you're always competing with people, if you're always jealous, if you're always even mad when somebody accomplishes something, you really need to revisit how you've structured your mindset. So my other point is going to be on innovation. So an individual with a fixed mindset, they're scared of trying out new things or new strategies. So you know this is the route I'm supposed to follow. So you never want to try anything. You are born, you are told this is how this is supposed to be done. You don't want to change that. You don't want to step out of your comfort zone. I remember back when we were doing the Redefine Your Success Global Summit, I was talking about thinking beyond the box. And now, when you say about thinking beyond the box, this is where innovation comes in. When you constrict yourself inside this box, when you put yourself inside this box, you don't want to step out. You don't want to feel if the water is warm or cold or whatever. You just want to stay here in your comfort zone. You wake up in the morning, you can do whatever you know. You can even do that by closing your eyes. You don't want to open your eyes and know, you know what? Instead of going to the bathroom fast, I can do this fast, you know? You just want to follow a particular pattern. Your mindset is becoming fixed. And individually, the growth mindset, what do they do? They want to innovate. They want to see change. They want to try new strategies. They don't care whether the strategies work or they don't work, but they want to know they have tried. And after they have tried, they learn. They don't see if it didn't work, it was never a failure to them. It was a learning lesson. So the next time they're told, you need to do a project this way, they're like, okay, I did it last time this way, it did not work. So I might try and strategize on a new method on how I'm going to do that. That's a growth mindset. That's a mindset that is active. That's a mindset that wants to try out new things. And remember, in this world, things are evolving, things are changing. In the near future, you're going to move to the AI world, the artificial world. And if your mind is not innovative, high chances are you'll be left behind. When the world is evolving, you'll start having statements like, well, it was never meant for me. You'll start using those negative self-talk words. You're feeling sorry for yourself, you know, because you don't want to be innovative. You don't want to move out of that comfort zone. And the worst part of it, if you don't want to have or if you choose not to have a growth mindset, you start lagging the people who are having a growth mindset, because they might be your family, they might be your friends, they might be your spouse. So the moment you're still having that fixated mindset, you're limiting growth to the people who are around you. Remember, like a tree, there are always branches. So if you're that branch that is always never getting water, you might kill the whole tree. So you have to be careful with how you're structuring your mindset. Over to you.
That's amazing. I love teaching planting to
Mm-hmm,
kids. And one thing I tell them is if the roots are not given water, there is no water for the stem. If
mm-hmm,
the stem does not receive water from the root, there is no water for the branches. So we all have to water ourselves. The moment I water into you, Coach Jay, I'm
mm-hmm,
watering in myself, whether I know it or not, because I'm becoming better at what I'm watering into you. And you
mm-hmm.
can't water into someone what you don't have. You can't water into Coach Joe when you don't have water in your can. So you have to
Very.
keep filling yourself with knowledge. You have to keep learning. So that goes to my next point of fixed mindset beliefs, either I'm good at it or not. I I I know. If I don't know, I don't know. If I know, I know. Okay, okay, Miss Joy, okay? So I get
Mm-hmm.
people like that in my life who tell me I know. And if I don't know, I don't know. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. You
I'm
have
not
a fixed mindset. And I'll repeat it, go to Coach J for help. And a
okay.
growth mindset person is one who believes I can learn to do anything I want.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it's your mindset. Growth mindset, fixed mindset, all these things have mindset in them. It is your mind. Today, I was telling one of my colleagues, she was telling me, I'm very terrible at remembering names. And I looked at her and I told her I used to have the same problem. I used to say I was terrible at remembering people's names. And I think I've told you this story, Coach J. Until I
Yeah.
was tasked in 2 weeks to make sure I know the names of 30 students.
Uh-huh.
And I know there were 5 names, but I know two of them. That if this student is Muhammad Saeed, I know this is Muhammad Saeed. I know this is Muhammad Ahmad. I know this is Fatima Mubarak, you know? And I know them by face. I know them. I can't mix them up. How?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was fixing my mind. I was fixing my mind. Me, I cannot. Me, I am not as good at names. And that's what my mind was taking. What you
Mm-hmm.
give your mind is what your mind is going to consume. If you tell your mind I can't, then I can't. But I started understanding that I had to learn. It helps me identify the kids when you call them by their names. Discipline, there's no much discipline issues. Personally, someone calls me by my name, I feel good. I don't feel good when Coach J calls me, hey, sweetheart,
You.
hey, love. For me, that definitely means you don't know my name.
Mm.
And I keep telling that to people. When you have a friend who keeps calling you, hey, love, hey, beautiful, that means that person doesn't know your name. Call me by my name once in a while.
Mm.
So for me, a growth mindset, you are always eager to learn anything. And when you fail at it, you tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to learn something else, or I'm going to learn at what I failed at.
Mm-hmm.
So fixed mindset is one. If you're that kind of a person who keeps saying, I don't know, or it is what I know, it is what I know, that is what I know, only that, I'm not expanding my mind. You have a fixed mindset, and you need to visit Coach J. I'm sure she'll leave her details when she shares this video so that you can visit her to help you build on your mindset. Back to you, Coach J.
It's amazing your point, and what comes in mind is motivation at the moment. Because when you're motivated, you're triggered towards a certain goal. And a goal is something that you want to achieve one way or another. So when you have a fixed mindset, what happens to you? You do have a goal, but your motivation is down. So you don't get where you want to go. But if you have a growth mindset, you are all over the place. You're excited to learn new things. You're excited to get to where you're going. It's like if you go out for a run and you have a fixed mindset, what are the chances you're going to take that run? You will get there, you'll take a U turn, you'll go back home. But if you have a growth mindset and you're focused on the outcome, you know what you want from that run. Are you planning to lose weight? Are you planning to remain fit? Some people, they go for a run so that their mind can become active. There's so many reasons why people do that. So if you have that goal in your mind, if you have a growth mindset, you are motivated to take that action. And the moment you take the first step, what happens? You keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And I always say, once you accomplish the task at hand, however how little it is, give yourself a high five or tap yourself. Tell yourself, job well done. And there's something good that happens out of that. If you make it a habit, you just do high five. It's like you're talking to yourself. You look like a mad person, but in the real sense, you're appreciating yourself. You're saying positive and kind words to yourself. And when
I
you make,
did it. I
yes,
did it.
you'll dance if you have to dance. Do something nice for yourself. Make yourself feel good. Don't wait for Coach J to come and tell you, oh my God, I saw you running in the morning. That's a good job. No, it might never come. She might never even notice you. Life is too busy for other people to notice what you're up to. You are the only person who can motivate yourself to get to where you're going. So if you have that type of mindset where you look after you first, you take care of you, you appreciate you, you say kind words to yourself, you're developing your growth mindset. Because if I keep waiting for somebody to come and appreciate me and they don't come and appreciate me, after one day nobody comes, second day nobody comes, a week nobody, a month, what happens? That action that I was doing, I will stop doing it because I'll be like, even nobody notices, what is the point of doing it? But you forget you have your own goals. Why are you doing that? Are you doing it for other people to see, or are you doing it for you as a person? So the words you speak to yourself, those are the things that boost you, that give you the motivation, that make you thrive and become better each and every day. So if you're always waiting for other people to appreciate you, I will highly recommend you go back, have a meeting with yourself, talk to yourself, ask yourself, why am I waiting for that? And then start developing that growth mindset, start developing that small habits. Like if you've read it, I know everybody, most of the people, they have read James Clear Atomic Habits. It starts with the small things that we do, the little things that we do. They build up every day, they build up and build up. And by the time you notice, everybody be like, leave that one, she's feeling herself. But in the real sense, you've come to learn your value, you've come to appreciate yourself. So you are not waiting for their validation. No, that's another topic we'll do for another day. You're not waiting for anybody's validation. Instead, you're appreciating you. And with time, people will come and start appreciating you in the process. Back to you.
That is very true. Actually, it's a very good topic that we are going to be doing very soon, invalidation. Like
Yeah.
being validated is very, very dangerous when you
Mm,
always wait for people to appreciate you. Like sometimes when I'm driving and there are these crazy roundabouts here in LA. So every time I pass the roundabout, I'm like, yes, I did it, because it can get crazy. So when you pass it, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to make it on time. So that is already, for me, that's already a win for the morning or for the day. So the small, small wins, that people take for granted. The other thing is that I'm going to share is when I'm frustrated, I give up. That is a fixed mindset.
mm-hmm,
When you always when you always feel like something has failed, and the first thing you're going to do is I'm frustrated, this is not even working, then you
mm-hmm,
give up immediately. That means you have a fixed mindset, because a
mm-hmm,
person with a growth mindset is going to say, I like to try new things, I'm going to
mm-hmm,
try something else. So you give yourself you give yourself a chance,
mm-hmm,
not to get frustrated. And for me, people say, why don't you get frustrated? And I'm like, what's the use of getting frustrated? If something has failed, I have no need to get frustrated. I rather find another option, because there are always options. There is
mm-hmm,
always another way. So if you find another way, you will never get frustrated. Or if you think of another way, you don't need
mm-hmm,
to get frustrated. I normally get frustrated when I start asking for people's opinions. For me, when I start asking, oh, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? For me, I always get frustrated, because now I'm getting different opinions from different people. So I'm like, so which one is which? I get confused. So every time you trust your judgment, you try something. Don't give up. Just try something else. Because if you get frustrated, you not even try anything else. So, growth mindset, you're always eager to try something new when one you've been trying has failed. So
mm-hmm.
that is my point for now. Back to you, Coach Jay.
I just to add on to what you've said, actually what happens when it comes to feedback, we put a lot of hopes on what people tell us, or we put a lot of faith on what people tell us. Feedback is good because it points out where we need to improve, or because they see us, we cannot see our environment, our ecology check. So
True.
when people come to you, what you can do is take a book and take a pen and paper. Okay, Coach Jay said I need to change on this. This one said I'm very good at this, because sometimes people they give you positive feedback just to make you happy. It's very rare to find a true critic in this world. If you have a friend who tells you the truth, if you have a friend who comes in, this friend just comes and points it point blank. It's annoying and all that, but they're telling you the truth. That's the one person you need in your life. But now, what happens today is you find a lot of people who are sugarcoating things because maybe they want something from you. Others, because of the fixed mindset and competition analysis is going on, they try and jeopardize your progress. So you're not, what I can say is for you to secure your space, don't take anything that they tell you, write them down. And then from there, ask yourself the questions. Why did Coach Jane tell me this? So you're not accepting what they said. Instead, you're questioning what they told you. And from there, it's up to you to tell yourself, okay, she said this. Well, remember, there's no wrong. Everything that people say, they have a positive outcome at the end of the day. So you decide what you're going to learn from that, but you don't
Mm,
take it, because if you take it to heart, what happens? You start feeling bad, you start feeling annoyed, and all that. Anyway,
expected.
yes. So my next point is, are you past positive oriented, or are you past negative oriented? And what do I need by these two statements? A past positive oriented person is someone who focuses on the good old times. So in the past, there's always the good times and the bad times. So this past positive oriented person chooses to focus on the good old times. It could be a tradition that you're always doing as a family. It could be anything. So your main focus is not what went wrong. Your main focus is on what went right. Okay. So once you start having that past positive past oriented mindset, you're always in a good mood, because when you remember about that, you're in a good mood, and that one can be a learning experience for you. So, when we talk about the past negative oriented people, I'm sure you've had statements like, I used to be good at this, I used to be good at that, one time I was the best, there's that pittiness that is associated with that. And if you take a group of people who say, I used to, I used to, I used to, 9 out of 10, they have never moved from that point. That point that they're referring to in their life, I used to be good at tennis, and then they have never moved from that point. Their life has never moved on. So anytime somebody asks you, hey, what do you do? I used to be good at, there's nothing that is happening in your life. That's a fixed mindset. That is somebody who has refused to grow. Let me just say grow. This is somebody who has decided that, I'll be a baby forever. I don't want to move on. I don't want to move from this stage. But this is a person who is positive, past oriented. They decided to look at the negatives, let them go, past them, they move on, and then they keep remembering only the positive things. So where am I going with all this? As an individual, you need to filter out what information you want to keep in your head, because the more negative I get, the more toxic my mind becomes, and the more, and toxicity grows faster than positivity. I don't know why, but the more you focus on the toxic things, on the negative things, on the negative attributes, it becomes more than the positive. So you leave no space for the positivity. You, as much as I want to be having a growth mindset, I'm still stuck with the negativity. So there's no space for this, and that's why we always say, let go of the baggage from the past. Just let it go. It's done. Why do you keep holding on to such things? Why do you keep holding on to saying, one time I failed at this, and then you've never moved on from that? Move beyond it, step on it, make it a stepping stone for you, keep going up, ignore all the negativity, create room for the positivity. And once you create that room, you'll start seeing that fresh plants are sprouting up, you'll start seeing that the trees are becoming bigger, things are becoming better in your mind, and even your creativity changes. And if you stick to the negative part, all your creativity starts becoming like in a basket. It really wants to come out, but the weeds, they're too much. They're not allowing it to grow. So you have to remember that your mind is like a garden, and you have to take care of your garden. Whatever goes in, it's you to decide what you want to have in your garden. Think of your flower garden at home. Think of where you plant maize. Think of where you do anything. That's your garden. So you have to take care of that garden. You have to nourish that garden. You have to water it, sunlight, everything. So it's up to you to decide if you want to hold on to negative things that are going to become toxic, or you're going to hold on to positive things. Over to you.
That's very true. When you don't take care of your garden, what happens? It gets full of weeds. And what's a garden with weeds? Very, very, very ugly garden. Okay. I love that point. So the next point I'm going to talk about is a growth mindset drives motivation and achievement. I'm not even
Mhm,
going to talk about negative there, and I'm going to mention a few things that you could actually have that could help you have a growth mindset drive,
mhm,
so that you're more motivated and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.
mhm,
So when you have a growth mindset, you start thinking, I can get smarter. So when you start thinking, I can get smarter, what happens? You start working at getting smarter. You think
yeah.
of more positive things than negative.
Mhm,
You think of watering and nourishing your garden other than letting it dry up. Then you start having a learning is my goal. You don't have a goal of, oh, I want to achieve this. I want to make sure I have a car. And if I don't have a car, that means I have not achieved my goal. Okay, that can also be a goal. But when you start looking at it, and if you fail at it, you're a failure, then there's a problem. So learning should be the goal. Through anything you do, learning should be the goal at the end of the day. Then effect makes me stronger, or the right word to say is effort. So
mhm,
when you put effort to something, it makes you stronger. You learn more. It makes you it makes you more, what is the right word to use? you become good at that thing that you're doing because you put effort at it, other than saying, you know what, I can't do it, and then someone does it for you. That
Mm-hmm.
means there's no, it's that person learning instead of you learning out of that. And then you'll never be able to do that on your own. You'll always have to rely on other people. So
Mm-hmm.
effort makes me stronger. There's a lot I learn when I put effort to something. So the other thing will be I will spend more time and work harder, leading to achievement. When you spend more time working towards what you want, you're definitely going to reach an achievement.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than having a negative mindset, rather than being there and solving, rather than being there and being frustrated or giving up, rather than being there and believing that failing is a limiting ability, have
Mm-hmm.
the mindset to working hard towards what you want, putting effort to it, and making sure you become smarter at the decisions that you make. Back to you, Coach Jay.
You have just put them out plainly. It's in simple ABC. All right. So my next one is going to be time. And what do I mean by time? When you are having a fixed mindset, you always dwell on what Coach Jay has said, you always dwell on what went wrong. And what does this do to you? You're wasting time. When the world is progressing, when the world is moving forward, you're busy thinking about what went wrong, why didn't this happen? You're stuck in that moment. You lose a day or two, you lose a month, you lose a year. And by the time you notice it, you happen to realize that you have lost a lot of time, and your colleagues, they have moved on, they have gone and they have used their time wisely, they have been able to use their time wisely. I'll just add Coach J back. Okay.
Yeah,
So
something happened. Sorry.
okay, that's fine. So I was saying about time and your colleagues, when you are busy, ranting about what went wrong, somebody else has taken advantage of that time and they're moving on. They're taking advantage of that, learning, and they keep going and they keep going. So one thing we all need to remember, that the currency of life is not money, it is time. And we all have the same amount of time. How are you using your time? How are you spending your time? Because that will make a difference. How did you spend it? Let's just use today. Today is Wednesday, October 12th. How did you spend your day today? Can you sit down and feel like, you know what, I'm satisfied with how the day went by? Or you feel like, you know what, I woke up and then boom, it's evening time. I don't know what happened during the day. Can you account for the activities that you did during the day? So remembering that the currency of life is time, it gives you that mindset of being careful of what you allow in your mind. You don't want to have all this negativity that stops you from becoming better or stops you from, making a difference in life. So always remember, a growth mindset looks at time, remember that time is the currency that is they're using, so they keep moving forward. Back to you.
Actually, when you shared about time, I get asked these days a question: how are you able to do the things that you do? I'm sure, Coach Jay, you get that question. How are you able to do the things you do? How are you able to do a YouTube channel, podcast, be able to update your social media, and even be a coach and do all these other things you do? It is how you manage your time. And I'm
Mhm.
glad Coach Joe was able to explain it broadly. All right, so the first thing I'm going to share is I'm going to paraphrase a quote from Benjamin Franklin, and it says, "You can choose security or freedom
Mhm.
in life, in your life. And if you choose security, you will have neither, you know." And for me, over time, I got to learn this, that most cases we choose security over freedom. We choose security, like I want to have a job and be secure. Huh? I want to choose this and be secure because it makes you feel secure about yourself.
Mhm.
Yet I believe most cases when we choose security, our minds become fixed at exactly what we are doing and we can't expand them because you've been given for example, 5 to 9, right? So you
Mhm.
basically have to work within that time exactly what you're paid for. So it's very hard for you to broaden your mind into doing other things because sometimes it's not allowed. Sometimes you feel so tired after the 5 to 9 and you can't be able to do other things. So that's where I get that question a lot. How are you able to do what you do? You have the 5 to 9 and you also do your coaching business. Like, how are you able to do that? And I always try to say, I manage my time. I try to have a free mindset, like a growth mindset, where I know if I want something, I can make it work. If I
Mm-hmm.
want something, I can put effort to it and find a way of making it work in my time.
Mm-hmm.
So when we play it safe, that is what I'm going to say. If you play it safe, if I play it safe, we limit the experiences and richness of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
You play it safe. All you want is, I want to live a certain life, or you've been actually put in that box. And I'm glad Coach Jay always say, think outside the box,
Yes.
because
Uh-huh.
most cases when we confine ourselves in being in playing safe, in being in a box, it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard for us to experience the richness of life. It's very hard for us to live and experience life to its fullness. So these are some of the things we'll be sharing actually on our seminar. I'll keep saying on the 5th about how you can live a more meaningful life,
Mm-hmm.
every day. So I'll be giving you some of those tips. Otherwise, back to you, Coach Jay.
That's a brilliant point you've given, and I want you to add also and say that in order for you to in order for you to have this mindset, there are a couple of things that you can do for you to identify what type of mindset you have. And when you look at time itself, a day has how many hours? Is it 24 hours? Yeah.
24
And
hours.
yeah, you have to move, you have to sleep. First of all, sleep is very important. You have to sleep the standard amount of hours, and then you have to manage your day. How do you manage your day? I always tell people having a planner is the most important thing you can do for yourself. If you're able to plan the night before, you know, okay, tomorrow these are the things I'm supposed to do, you'll find that you even end up sparing a lot of time, other than you wake up and then you're like, I'm supposed to do this. When you're halfway in that task, you remember, oh no, there's another thing I'm supposed to do. So you stop doing this, you move to this. So you become all over the place. And by the time you finish 3 or 4 hours, you're exhausted, you're tired. And then you're like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't. So already you've created the barrier in your mind. You've used the can't word. So it has already been used in your subconscious mind. So you stop doing everything you do. Yeah, let me just watch one episode just to clear my head. And then one episode becomes 2 episodes, 3 episodes, 4 episodes. By the
Netflix lovers.
by the time you realize it, it's even you're like, you know what? Tomorrow is another day. I can do that. So you find that you've lost a lot of time because you did not plan your day properly. You did not look at your day. How is my day going to be? A to-do list is very important. It's what personally, it's what helps me to manage all these things that I'm up to. Because without a to-do list, I'll be like, oh no, I'm supposed, oh no, oh no, oh no. At the end of the day, I will end up not being productive. So the other thing I wanted to say was that a fixed mindseted person is somebody who has already branded their mistakes. So already you've started using the words of like, I'm not good at that. You know, when somebody, Coach Jay, like today I messaged you, I told you it's the first time I'm doing StreamYard and the group. And the words I used to you, they were like, I'm becoming a tech guru. I did not tell you I cannot do this. I told you I'm becoming a tech guru. And immediately after messaging you, I found a way of how to do it. But if I told you I cannot do this, what will have happened? It will never have happened
You'd
to you.
be frustrated and telling me to do it.
I will have bounced it back to you. But I was like, oh my God, with these things, I'm just becoming a tech
No,
guru
but I
every.
should say I'm proud of you. You've been making this work. Like, I was like, do it, and now you do it perfectly. Everything is on time. Like, bravo!
Yes,
You better clap for yourself too, girl.
I am because that statement alone, I'm becoming a tech guru. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. So I just go in, I Google is there, you check A, B, C, D, F, G, H. If you need help, some people who are good at it, ask for help. So don't brand your mistakes like, I cannot do this, I'm not good at this. No. Develop the mindset, you challenge yourself. Because when you challenge yourself, I don't need to compete with Coach Jay for me to know I'm in a competition. I can challenge myself to learn something new. And that alone gives you the satisfaction. And today I learned about this tech thing. Tomorrow it will be something bigger than this. And I will not stop there. I will keep reminding myself, Jane, try it. Just try and fail. At least try and not get the out. Not even, don't even use the word fail. Try and not get the outcome that you want, but at least you tried. You never said I cannot do this. So don't brand your mistakes. Don't make something become like, oh, I cannot do this. Oh, I cannot. And in another video, I remember Coach J talked about. I think it was driving or something. There's this mindset that people have: I cannot drive, I cannot drive, I cannot drive. So you've already branded it in your mind. So by the time you get out there and you go and do the exam, what happens? I cannot drive, I cannot drive, I cannot drive. You will not drive, you'll fail that exam. So it is your mindset that makes you move forward. It is your mindset that makes you take the first step. Back to you, Coach Jay. I think I'm finalizing on my end.
I was smiling, and it's because you talked about the driving part. And when I went for the driving classes, I went with that mindset. Everyone had told me
Mm-hmm.
these guys are going to fail you on your golden chance. Because I had a golden chance. I was already driving in Uganda. So I had a golden chance. So everyone was telling me they are going to fail you on the golden chance because they believe their driving permit is the best. So they have to prove that their driving permit is the best. I went with that mindset, and trust me, I practiced. I paid trainers out here. I trained for 2 weeks. When I went for the driving test, I failed, and I think it was just a small stone that I hit. Yes, but I think it. I also failed because I'm like having that mindset. I had that mindset that what, I cannot get it on the first chance.
Mm-hmm.
You get, for me, from this is the mindset I've had, that I failed because of the mindset I had that I was going to fail, because
Mm-hmm.
people said you always fail on the first chance. So I'd already limited my mind, even maybe I'd put it into the trainer's mind, because I've manifested it. Because we manifest things without knowing. You manifest it by thinking it, you manifest it by saying it, and it also gets into the world, you know? And for me, that is very true. Manifest it, it's going to happen. Then the other thing I was going to share about, when you were talking about Netflix, I was going to say, I got a friend the other day. Yeah, actually not the other day. I think like a month ago, who was
Mm-hmm.
asking me because she actually knows that I have Netflix. So she was like, "Joe, I know you have Netflix and you've had it for a long time. Can you add me?" And I was like, "No, I'm sorry, I can't add you." She's like, "Why? I'm your friend." I'm like, "I have a reason." She's like, "Tell me, if it's money, I can pay you so that we share." I'm like, "No, it's not about money. It's just that I've put a lot of people on my subscription, so I don't have any space to add anyone more." Then I'm like, "But maybe I can give you my space because I don't watch much Netflix these days." Like Coach J, there is a lot to do, there is a lot to learn, and I find myself there's no space to sit down and watch TV unless on a weekend when I just want to chill with friends. But it has become hard for me in the week, you know, with my schedule and my to do list of the things I want to accomplish. I find myself just staring at the TV and just finishing my work because I can't watch and work. I don't. There are
Uh-huh.
people who can just watch TV and work. I can't. I either am quiet doing my work or nothing at all, you know. So I got that question today from one of my beautiful friends asking me if I actually watch Netflix. I will not mention her name. And yeah, I watch it, but yeah, not as much as I used to. I think life has gotten to me where I love what I do and I don't have time to watch other people. All right, my last point for today. Life is about being and becoming, and not having and getting. And this is a quote from Stefania Seabrook. I love it. Every time you believe that life is about becoming, about being, just being you, just being who you want to be, just exploring the world, experiences, new life experiences. Trust me, you are becoming. And I love that book for Michelle Obama,
Mm-hmm.
Becoming, you know.
Yeah.
If you read it, you understand what it means by becoming. Otherwise, do not live your life by having everything I want to have. Eh? I want to get. Like the event we are going to be having, I think I'm doing so much advertising. The event we are going to be having on the 5th of November, it's going to be about you becoming,
Mm-hmm.
you being, not you getting and you having, but you becoming. For me, that is the way I'm going to be even talking about the event. It's about becoming more confident,
Mm-hmm.
becoming less stressed at work, living a more abundant life. Yeah. Other than just having. I'm at work, but I'm not having friends. I'm at work, but it seems like no one likes me. Like it's all about you having, and getting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
How about you just being you, being confident in yourself, just being loving of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I could summarize, and I think that's my last point. Life is about being and becoming rather than getting and having, because that's where the fixed mindset comes in. When you start having, every time I want to have, I want to get, I want to have. Can I have this, Coach J? Can I get this, Coach J? Can I have this, Coach J? How about we become together? How about we be together? We do something together other than all the time it's me, 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 me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my last point for today.
You
Back
know,
to
when
you,
you
Coach Corey.
see when you say that point, it reminds me when we were doing biology back in school and they were teaching us about the pests. So I feel like when you have a fixed mindset, you're starting to show the signs of a pest or the characteristics of a pest.
Yeah.
So
Even others.
exactly the characteristics of a pest, and I'm also excited about the 5th of November. So as I summarize my topic, there's something I wanted to say. We have talked about the effects of a fixed and a growth mindset, and maybe somebody's out there is asking, I have identified a few characteristics that show that I have a fixed mindset in some areas. How can I change these, or how can I improve? And my top two tips are going to be: number one, introduce the word or yeah, it's a word, yet. I've said this before and I'll still say it: introduce yet in your statements. Have not yet managed to do this, or like any statement you use, just put yet at the end, because when you stop and say I cannot do this, already you form the block. But when you say I cannot do this yet, it gives you that mentality that okay, today was not successful, but tomorrow it might be the day that I get this. So
I'll do
introduce
better.
in all the statements that you feel are going to be negative. Remember, that is a garden, so you must make sure that your garden is beautiful. Your garden will win the awards of the most beautiful garden. And then the other thing I will say is, don't be too hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. And the moment you start becoming kind to yourself, you start saying positive words to yourself. Again, I will insist about morning affirmations. Wake up in the morning and say kind words to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful, I am handsome. Those words, they have meaning. You might not know it, but you're planting the seeds in your head. Because the moment you wake up, you look in the mirror, oh, how do I look? Already you've started with that negativity. So, two tips: one, introduce yet, and number two, be kind to yourself. The world might not be kind to you, but you can be kind to yourself. And that is why we, together with Coach Jay, we started the Facebook group, it's mindset shift CEOs. And we called it CEOs because we are all CEOs. We are all in charge of ourselves. I'm in charge of myself, you're in charge of yourself. So I am the CEO of my life. I don't have to be the CEO of a big company. I don't have to be the CEO of Adidas or any other company. There's this company that I'm in charge of, and if I am a company, what type of decisions am I making for myself? What am I doing for myself to make me better? So when you think of your life in that space, you start thinking positively about yourself, because you don't want your company to fail. Who wants their company to fail? Who wants, when the market crashes, you're also down there? Nobody. So when you think of yourself as a company and you're the CEO running that company, you imagine that those employees who are looking up to you, they're all these people who are looking up to you. You have to do good. You have to speak nice words to yourself. And in the process, you'll find yourself like, really, everybody will be like, I love that energy. It's a contagious energy, not like, oh, please, I hope she's not coming. I really hope she has negative vibe. Be that light when you enter in a room, okay? So I think that brings me to the end of my points. Over to you for the closing, Coach Jay.
All right, I would like to add on what Coach Jay has said. If you are out there and you need to learn to become better, you are looking at being, not just having, but being.
Mm-hmm.
The group for you on Facebook is Mindset Shift CEOs. Trust
Mm-hmm.
me, if you believe you're a CEO of your life, everything else around you will move smoothly. Because first of all, it's your life first. You are CEO of your life before you start being CEO of other people's lives. Before you
Mm-hmm.
start wanting to be a CEO in a company, you have to be a CEO of your own life. So that
Mm-hmm.
group is not about the owners being CEOs, it's about everyone in it being a CEO of their own life. So you are welcome if you're watching right now and you're not in the group. You are welcome. Just look for Mindset Shift CEOs and you will definitely find the group. We'll add you in there and you're most welcome to learn and to learn from you. Otherwise, stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you so much for being here and the ones who are going to watch later on all the other platforms.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining us. As always, we are happy to do this every Wednesday. It's a learning experience for both of us because the more we read about these topics, the more we are learning. Every day is a learning day. We will see you guys next week. If you have any questions for us, if you have a topic that maybe you feel like I would like these ladies to address it for me, please feel free to contact us, and we'll be more than happy to do that. If you're out there and you feel like you're stuck, you feel like things are not moving your way, or you feel like you have this fixed mindset, I am a growth mindset coach. I'm happy to step in and walk you through the journey. If you feel like you need any help or somebody to hold your hand, Coach Jay and I, we are here to help. Apart from being coaches, we are also mentors, and we are always happy to impact the world. It's not about how we live, how long we live. It's about how we live, and we want to live our lives making a meaningful thing out here. All right, that's it from us today. Many thanks for joining us. Thank you, Coach Jay. It's always lovely to see you, and I will see you next week. Adios.
Adios.